This is Track Chat with the most known unknowns. We got D Coach Lamont Johnson, Johnson C. Smith, Hassan Stamps, East Tennessee State, and myself, Coach Kyle Stevenson. I am coaching at Georgia State University here in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, there's no secret as to what's going on in the world around us. So let's start there. First, we definitely, we send our condolences to the family of Mr. Floyd who lost his life, unfortunately. Uh, but let's tackle that. So I know us as black men, as black leaders, as we're leading the team, let's speak on freely, guys. Let's speak on how number one, how you feel about it. I don't want to dodge that because it is becoming. I mean, it's old news. It's repetitive news. I know I'm tired of it. I know y'all are tired of it. But let's start with that. I just want to know how you feel about it, and then let's really address how or what can we do, what do we already do to protect our athletes. All right, let's go, Lamont.
Well, I'll go in a different route here. That's along the lines of what we're talking about. We was at the NCAA championships out at Pittsburgh State. It was out in Kansas. It was me, my jumps coach, and my long jumper from Milwaukee. And we were staying in Joplin, Missouri. Now, Joplin, Missouri borders on the line of the state of Kansas. So many of the teams will stay in Joplin because there's more places to lodge, there's more food and everything else like that. So we're coming back from pre-meet and we're en route to get to the border of Kansas into Missouri. We get pulled over, and the cop comes up to the car very aggressively. Boom, boom, boom. I told everyone in the car, keep your hands in eyesight. I told Tavian, keep your hands on the headrest. And he was like, okay, coach, cool. Rolled the window down. And most officers, let me say that most officers would say, hey, how you doing? Um, I pulled you over XYZ. You say whatever it is. I'm like, well, can I get your license and registration? He even asked me that. He's like, license and registration. And I'm like, sir, only got my license. I say, I don't have registration to rental. So you mean to tell me you don't got no rental slip? I mean, just like that. Just like that. And so my assistant coach is next to me. He's like, yo, is he really tripping like this? And he said, you know why the hell I pulled you over? And I'm like, I'm not liking your tone right now. Like, there's no need for you to get hostile. And I was like, what was the situation? He said, well, you were speeding down the street. You did an illegal pass by 18-wheeler, and we was on the corner with each other. At 18-wheeler, there was nobody on the road. He backed up away from the car, and I quote, because we got it on film. So you mean to tell me, handwriting, you mean to tell me that I'm making this up, this and the third, blah, blah, blah? And I'm looking at him, and I got my hand on the steering wheel, and I'm looking at Tavian, and I'm looking at Antoine. The first thing I said, I got to get these guys back to their parents, and I got to get Antoine back to his wife and kids. I looked out the window. I said, you know what? Just give me the ticket. Just give me the ticket. And he started going on still, and I didn't say anything. I just kind of put my head down, and I didn't say anything. He gave me the ticket. I called my AD to let her know what was going on, let her know what happened, and we went from there. My jumper, who's in the back, was in tears. And he said, Coach, now I see what you've been trying to teach me all these years. This is what we have to go through on the regular end. I don't think people really understand. And it hurts because the one or two bad apples spoil it for those who is doing their job the right way, who goes into this profession wanting to be all they can be and uphold the law and make sure that everyone can live sound and live safe. This guy had every intention for that situation to go bad, but I didn't give him what he wanted. I didn't give him what he wanted. I didn't give it to him. He wanted that. And so my assistant coach, who really never gone through that, I looked at him and he was like, "Coach, you handle that better than I would." I said, "Sid, you have a wife and kids. I have to get you back home." And I know this may sound crazy, but I said, "The hell what happened to me? I live with the consequences of what happened to me. I can't let nothing happen to y'all because I'm the head coach. Y'all on my watch. And if Tavian sees me popping off like that, he's gonna think it's okay." So it goes back into teaching our kids how to navigate through that chaos that confronts them by some rogue cop who's looking to pop their cherry, because that's what it's called. Even though we come from an era where that term is used for something different, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get an unrighteous, righteous shot. And I'm not about to be anyone's victim, man. So we have to teach our young men and young women, but especially our young men, that listen, they come to you, don't play the role, don't play the hard rock role. Hey, what's going on? Give me your ID. Say, look, I was just here. I'm going by my business, this and the third. Leave. I tell them all the time, you at a party, most of the time, anything that happens after 1 o'clock, and I'm just using that number, anything happens at 1 o'clock is gonna be bad. Nothing good happens after 12 a.m. That's the quote that we all was raised on. You know what I'm saying? So I tell them, you got, if she ain't giving you your number by 12 o'clock, then yo, leave. You ain't got to shut the party down. Because something always goes wrong. Something, whether it's internal or it's somebody, inviting the cops to come on there and be overly aggressive. Leave. So I teach them how to maneuver. Anything happens is in my team rules too. If a cop even speaks to you about something minor, my phone's the first phone that needs to be called. So I can get in front of it, I can help handle it, and my superiors above me will know, and all they're gonna tell me, okay, coach, we know about it, handle your business, do what you need to do. So those are some of the rules I put in place to make sure that my kids understand that this is a serious game, especially working at the HBCU.
Stamps.
I've known for the better part of the day, this is how we were kind of going to start. And I oddly don't have much to say at all. If anything, it's upset me on a level of I tend to stay away from social media. Like once I saw it kind of scroll, like I passed it a couple times because obviously knew, where it was going, what was going to happen. But obviously, some point you're going to watch it, and people that I respect, value, and respect and value, I have a slightly different opinion on as of late, because as I've read the comments that they've allowed to have displayed on either their page, or them not addressing it or being dismissive or saying nothing, has further let me know what they think of me. And in this world where, you're in the NFL, it's 2020, and they literally had to create the Rooney Rule just so there's a person of color that has to be a part of the conversation. The systemic racism that we deal with on a daily basis is so real. we all, I think, have been in some way, shape, form, or fashion kind of conditioned to be like, man, well, was it this? Are they talking to the next coach in our athletic department like that? Or are we dealing with the same kind of sentiments like that? I'll give y'all a different story. Kyle actually is kind of partly responsible for me still even being at ETSU because he was witness to an incident that happened where I was called boy 3 times, and I lost my cool. And if me and Kyle wouldn't have just been randomly going up where we were going, I mean, he legitimately caught my fist. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday.
So, fortunately, things got handled correctly, and I guess I was fortunately given the benefit of the doubt because I guess at that time I was 34, 35. We obviously know the tone of an elderly Caucasian male using the word boy, and in the elevated, you heard what I said, boy. And, unfortunately, that was done to put me in a position because had hands been laid on him, I wouldn't have, there just wouldn't, and there's no place for that in the workplace. So what that let me know and understand is it is alive, it is very real. I think Will Smith, I was just watching something for our show. It's like, it's unfortunately same that it's kind of been. Only difference is it's being recorded and being seen. I was just pulled over a little more than a week ago. I got a new truck. Right around, I was in an accident that totaled out my car early March. So as this COVID stuff happened, after I got my new car, I bought it from a person, for sale by owner, and went down to the county tag office. They're not doing any tags till June the 15th because of the social distancing and stuff like that. So I'm currently driving with my title in the car. I can't get a tag. I didn't get it from a dealership, so I don't have a dealer tag. As I was pulled over the other day, officer walks up to my car, hand on holster, license to registration. I said, sir, I just want to let you know now the reason, or when he told me the reason he pulled me over, I said, well, the reason I don't have a tag is because I recently purchased this vehicle. And I was told by the county clerk to, keep the title in the car. And I guess he thought it was a ruse. He steps back and says, that's not a thing, or something along those lines. And he was like, you should have a dealer tag. There's supposed to be some sort of tag, you're putting on. And I was like, officer, please. I said, can I reach into the glove box and get the title so you can see it for yourself? I'm really telling you verbatim what the tag office told me. Heart's beating a mile a minute. I'm trying to keep my cool. We all know, from all the things that have happened, like nobody ever getting pulled over from the cops, but I can remember in my teen years, or even as a college age student, when I've gotten pulled over, like, it wasn't anxiety. It's never anxiety. It was, dang, man, I ran a light, or I did what I did. I was speeding. Okay, officer, like, I had never experienced fear till now. So I'll be 40 in a month. And every time that I've been pulled over here in the last 2 years, I'm afraid. It's anxiety. It's am I going to get out of this traffic stop? So fortunately, I was able to go in the glove box, showed him my title. He says, oh, yeah, I remember now. June 15th, yeah, that's the date. You were correct. But prior to him seeing the title, it was all whatever it was. So, it's really disheartening, man. It's hurtful. Um, we want better for our kids, our athletes. And I try to tell all my athletes at the beginning of the school year, just, I, as an assistant coach here at ETSU, I have to move differently. And then when I say them, but I have to move differently twofold, they totally understand. I have to move differently because I am an assistant coach and because I'm a coach of color in a predominantly white area. That folks are dealing with certain things. Last little thing I'll add, and I'll be done. We had a African American distance runner a few years ago. She was doing a long run, and she had stopped at the little railroad tracks over there by the VA, and the light, hadn't turned yet, and the dude was in a little lifted up truck, and she just came in and melted in my arms in my office. She said, "Coach, I was at a light, getting ready to cross back on campus, and two redneck guys, oh, well, aren't you a pretty little nigga?" And she said, "Coach, I heard that, and all I thought about was just going across that street as fast as possible, because at that point, not only was I in fear, and almost they looked at me almost like an ornament, like a object or something, to where how easy would have been to them to just jump out the car, grab me, and go on their way." And when I expressed that at our all staff meeting, they were kind of shocked and all, but like there wasn't much other response, because I think there's a certain level of trauma or PTSD, you can say, our people have dealt with for 400 plus years, that they just expect us to, oh, well, I'm sure he didn't mean nothing by it, or, there was all this dismissiveness in it, but let some other issue happen and you got grief counselors all around and all this massive support. So I just think we have to not only project safe zones, but be driving forces to understand things that you say, how we move, and the type of support needed for people of color, because we're being hunted and it's not cool.
Yeah, I think both of you guys make great points. So, son, I was more on the fence where you were. I I haven't watched the video. I'm not going to watch the video. I already know what it is. I'm tired of seeing it. There's no doubt in my mind, like many other people, I'm gonna be in constant rage. Uh, but I'm tired of it. So I mean, I'm more of a, believe it or not, people don't know this, I'm more of a Malcolm than I am Martin. Uh, so I just now know, just as I'm getting older, how to keep myself out of those situations and out of those feelings per se. I still address those feelings, but I pick and choose. And with the whole social media age and everything now being recorded, that's just something that I tell me the story. I don't need to see it. You know. So I guess as we navigate the conversation of, 'cause to be real, Stem, there is no safe zone. Uh, there is, ain't nobody safe. If you look like us, we're not safe. So it's it's one of those things where, seriously, what do we do? So us as coaches, us as leaders, I mean, I know how I grew up. I knew that the conversation was had as a black male, how to move, what to do when you stop, all of that. So I mean, in a non-joking way, do we need to have active black training that's like active shooter training? Or like, do we really need to, is that a day that we need to dedicate to our athletes? Because the thing I will say, we've all been 18, we've all been 19, we've all been 21, we've all felt invincible. But even though we remember the conversations that our elders taught us of what not to do, let's not act like we didn't jump froggy. It may not have been towards the police, So I know that those emotions, those feelings are still there. And as I do watch the generation behind me, and I do applaud them for it, uh, they don't take no BS. But in not taking that BS, we still want to make sure that we're getting our athletes to see 34, to see 35, to see 40, to see 60. Um, so I pose that question. I mean, is there something that we need to do? Like, do we need to dedicate, whether it be before practice or after practice? Because I can admit to I don't do it enough. I don't address the social issues enough with my team. Um, and this is now something like it's not even I want to do it more. I'm gonna do it more. You know, just if I gotta say, hey, each Wednesday, man, we just how we sit and we discuss various topics. Like, let me just get my team together, and let's really discuss these things. Because regardless, they may not want to hear the preaching or the lecturing, but they do listen. They do have a takeaway. I will give them their credit. So, what you guys think?
Well, I do it. I've done it as an assistant coach, and I do it as a head coach. I have those tough conversations with them. I have to reiterate to them that you're not invincible. You're not Superman. You're not super chick. You know what I'm saying? You have to move accordingly. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, those rogue cops, and I'm using my words very carefully because I don't want everybody lumping, law enforcement in under one umbrella because we don't like it when people lump us under one umbrella. Mm-hmm. So those rogue cops, 90% of the time they get off. So they can sit there and feed their appetite that was hooked well before they even got on the scene, if you know what I'm talking about. Some of these cops come from these deep down racial places or their grandparents, it's just festering and they just passing that type of ignorant knowledge from generation to generation. So I sit them down at the beginning of the year when they do their team rules. When we get to page 7, because I know exactly what page it is. We get to page 7. That's the one page I spend the most time on. And I tell them the do's and don'ts, how to move, how to act accordingly. If cops are coming, this and the third. I always tell my kids too, none of y'all in the criminal underworld. So guess what? The no snitching policy don't apply to you. That shit doesn't apply to you. Excuse my language, but it doesn't apply to you. You know what I'm saying? Something's popping off, this and the third. It's happening in between our team with this and the third. Don't sit back and not tell me anything because if I find out from somebody else other than from y'all gonna be in worse trouble than anybody else. So I tell them, the women, like when homecoming come around, my men and my women team, they hang out with one another. I tell them, hey, men, you are responsible for these women. And that sounds kind of crazy, but late night, drugs, alcohol, what that combines to. It combines to one hell of a moment. And, at some point, you have to make sure that these women get home. Like, if y'all all together, y'all get them home and y'all fellas, y'all be able to take care of yourselves. So, I tell them that. And just going back to the whole dealing with police, man, I just tell them, listen, man, they ask you a question, give them the answer, go watch your business. If you don't know nothing, then you say, look, I don't know nothing, but try to have as minimum interaction with them in a negative manner as possible. When I say negative, I mean like, yo, somebody's driving too fast and you get pulled over. Like, try to minimize your interaction with them on a negative level, So, just move accordingly, man. Move accordingly and do the right thing. I'd rather you do the right thing than try to be Billy Badass and end up calling me, yo, I'm at the jail, this and the third. Because a part of me gonna leave you there, but then a part of me got to go get you because I made that promise to your parents that I wasn't gonna leave you stuck. So that's how I go about it. But yes, I do address that mostly in the beginning, then periodically throughout the year.
All right. Sam, you got anything to add to that, or you
good? I would say I think that this would be the opportune time to have folks come together in a capacity. You know, if we got TCAA Coaches Association, and you know, athletic directors got an association, and athletic trainers got an association, all the way down the line, you know, there needs to be some sort of student athlete organization that could potentially be a resource or provide sensitivity training. Like, I'm trying to think of all the professional ways that it could be spun to where it would be beneficial. I know I was dealing with an incident here at ETSU to where a lot of the football guys from one side of the main dome to the next, hey, N-word, hey, you got my socks, or just this massive, overly overt use of the N-word. I don't use it, man. So, you know, a handful of times, you know, I'd pull a guy aside, hey, man, like, of all the things you could say, man, that's what you want people to hear you, and you represent the department and there's coaches and yourself. That's ignorant talk. So I wanted to try to have a all, you know, student athlete, you know, talk about the N-word, and I went through the equity and diversity, or not equity, the cultural diversity center on campus, and they worked with it for a little bit, but then when it got over to the powers that be in athletics, and I think student affairs, they wanted to make it this whole other thing. And you know what, that, you know, we ultimately didn't do it, but once, you know, it's like when the idea of how we know it needs to be presented is supposed to be presented, and then it kind of gets, for lack of a better word, whitewashed into how they present it to want to be. You take away the whole sentiment of what it's supposed to be. So I think there needs to be organization. I think there needs to be some fellowship internally between student athletes. And, you know, as things get, you know, as we start to figure things out, what I hope happens now, because it feels, as much as it's the same, it feels different. There was a very powerful picture that's circulating right now with the cops. It's almost like, and it's super sick and cryptic, that of all the like moves we've seen cops do, and this is me personally, you guys chime in if you need, or, you know, at some point, but like, I've not seen the knee on the back of the neck before. So it was almost like he was mocking Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing. I thought the same exact thing, man. Because that's a technique that's not taught. Now, I've seen the knee in the back, but I've never seen the knee on the neck. And he just stood there calm, and the guy saying, yo, I can't breathe. And the other cops just standing there like, what threat does he pose? He was cuffed up in between somebody's body weight and the police vehicle. What threat did he pose?
So the way that it feels different now is, as we've all known, Cap hadn't been wrong since he started it, but like, oh man, this is exactly what he was talking about. And literally the guy that is the one with the knee on the neck of the guy is almost, like I said, is almost mocking. So I'd like to think, and I hope, that again, as much as this is the same result that we've been dealing with for however long it's been, that the action and the rage stays. Because, you know, if I tell y'all now on this show, if I ever befall a fate by the hands of the police like that, don't make me no hashtag find an adequate change for something, because we could all run for Aubrey, we could all say we can't breathe and do something for the moment, and then in 6 weeks, what happens? In 6 months, what happens? And it seems very trivial that, or it doesn't seem, it seems like there's this great opportunity for something to actually be done now, because the tides have to turn, they have to shift, they have to move to a place to where, you know, we don't feel like a simple traffic stop could lead, or, you know, even if I've done something wrong, I guess the guy was forging something or got caught with a card that wasn't his. I mean, you had him hemmed up. That enough's enough. You did your job. So I hope requisite change, you know, comes out of it. But that's where I would like to think about organizing and getting a student athlete union of some sort, not, you know, for any other reason other than every campus should have a place to where student athletes once a month or a couple times can talk about the social things that they're dealing with, the things that are going on. Because again, when you know, when 9/11 happens, and 9/11 only happened in your city, you know, Lamont, but there's,
Right.
you know, grief counselors and people to descend upon these schools and elementary stuff, blah, 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 to help people deal with something traumatic. And it's almost like that fallible issue with African American women in hospitals and doctors, to where they don't express or think that women or are in as much pain that they're saying, and women have actually died in the hospital because they devalued what they were saying. Oh, you're just over exaggerating while
Say
you're
that.
giving birth.
We almost lost Allison. We almost lost Allison Felix. Say that. Preach, man. Serena. Yup.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
so it is a very it is on so many levels, man. But we got to find, and I'm a solutions guy, man. So, you know, we understand what the problem is. Let's find these solutions. And I read that article you posted or you shared, Lamont,
Mhm.
that was it 10 years ago? They were saying that a lot of people of like, you know, neo-Nazis or whoever are hiding in our justice system as police officers, correctional officers, parole officers.
Yep.
Boy,
Yep.
man, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, and again, not downplaying this situation at all. Because again, as black men, if anybody else understands their weight, we know the weight. Uh, I mean, Lamont being from New York, uh, her son from Atlanta, myself from Memphis. So if we understand it, we understand it.
City boys.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just lighten the mood. You know, I know we had, you know, we want to talk track. That's something we haven't done. We definitely we want to push the envelope. We want to discuss things that aren't being discussed in our arena, and of course, we want to make it interesting. But let's spend some time. Let's just be some track fans today, man. So, track got canceled, of course, along with a lot of other sports. This is gonna be a big year, a big Olympic year. Next year was gonna be a big world championship year. So now with things being shifted back, but I want to start first. Let's start home. Let's start with Team USA, because with us, it's a revamp year for us and Jamaica. To be honest, you know, the two powerhouses in the sprints. But let's start with Team USA in general, because we're gonna have a very fresh new team. I think a very talented team, top to bottom across the board. So let's start there. Both of you guys are very big track aficionados. So I want to hear your take just on how you think Team USA is going to be performed. Also, I want you to give me a quick, like, your dream team. I want a quick dream team for Team USA.
Okay, now when you say dream team, you talking about from past teams or just
Nah, nah,
the
nah.
oh,
Like, so let's with the pool, with everybody that's still active. Like, hell, you can put Wallace Spearman in it, because I know he training. You know,
right?
so I want you to I want you to put together, you know, with the names that are fresh. You know, the Noah Lyles, you know, Christian Coleman, even Shakari Richardson, even though she ain't necessarily been on the team yet. But let's use some of our recent names. I want you to put together like your dream team. That's a good question. I'm glad you clarified that.
All right.
So are we doing one? So could we go like from the 100, just one person for our dream team, or how many people deep do we go for each event?
So let's just for time constraint, let's do one person per event, and then we got the flexibility in let's do two people. We can do two people per event. because essentially that's how it's gonna work with the trials process. And then I'll even allow you to give me a relay pool of 8 people.
Mm.
Ah.
All right. Let me set it off.
All right.
Okay, seeing that, look, we're all sprint guys here by nature. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna attack the sprints. Okay. First and foremost, the 100. Clearly, it's gonna be Christian Coleman and Noah Lyles. Okay. My dark horse, Trayvon Bromell. That's my dark horse. I got faith in the young buck. The 200. It's gonna be Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, and I honestly think it's going to be Christian Coleman as well. Those are the 2 consistent 200-meter runners in the United States as of right now. You know, I haven't seen Ronnie Baker. Hell, even when he was in college, I ain't seen Ronnie Baker run the 200. I saw him run 4x4s in the 100. I ain't seen him run the 200 quarter. Unless something catastrophic happened, I don't see anybody knocking Michael Norman and Fred Curley off that team.
Okay.
The hurdles, clearly right now, I'm gonna say this: the winner of next year's Olympic trials gonna be Daniel Roberts.
In the hurdle.
Yes,
You know what?
Daniel Roberts.
I agree with you there.
Daniel
I
Roberts.
agree with you there.
Daniel Roberts, Grant Holloway, and honestly, because the men's hurdle isn't as deep as it used to be, I think Devin Allen's going to find a way to make that team again. I really think he's going to find a way to make the team. 400 hurdles, bro, there's one man and one man only in the United States, and that's Rob Benjamin, all right? It's the Matrix. That's why I call it. It's the Matrix. You know,
Okay.
he's going to be one now. You want to talk about my relay pool? I'll keep it very simple. You know what my relay pool will be? It'll be Christian Coleman, Ronnie Baker, Noah Lyles, Grant Holloway, and here's my twist, Michael Norman on my 4x1. That'd be my 4x1 pool. Gatlin has 2 more bullets in him. He's going to have to use it at the trials, and he's going to have to use it at the games if he makes the team. Okay?
Oh,
I'm just being real. I'm just being dog. He's what, 39? He'll be 39?
I'm gonna tell
38.
you something. I don't care how old he is. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this now because I'm serious about the word fan. Okay, I've never been a Gatlin fan. All right, but that doesn't mean I've never liked him and respected him as an athlete. I've never been a fan because me being a fan, I just look for different things of being a fan of. Like, I was a fan of Mo Green because of his antics, his dramatics. I was a fan of Bo. You know what I'm saying? I was never a fan of Tyson Gay, but I liked them as runners. So I've never been a Gatlin fan, but I'm going to tell you like this. Gatlin got a full clip, in my opinion, because outside of Coleman, all right, I don't see anyone else right now with as much racing experience at that high of a level to get through the rounds.
I get it.
The Wizard.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but let me tell you something, baby.
Go to the 4x4.
Oh, let me go to, okay. All right,
Yeah.
let me go to the 4x4. So, the 4x4, Rob Benjamin, his spot solidified. Michael Norman, Fred Curley. Ooh. I would run Michael Cherry again. Will London again. And just trying to find that other guy. It's hard to find that 6th guy. That'll be my pool for the men's 4x4 team. Now we got to do women. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna hurt some feelings. The women's 100 meters in the United States is trash.
You know what? I'm so glad you said it. I was just saying this to Pickett. Like, if there's one thing
let me preface my statement by saying this. I am not talking about the collegiate athletes. Anybody who knows me know I keep the collegiates out of it. I stay away because I'm a college coach, and that's a conflict of interest. I'm talking about those. I'm talking about those who are going to make the team, like those professionals. I really don't see a threat. The biggest threat, in my opinion, is baby girl from USC, Lil Mama.
Yeah.
Lil Mama from USC.
Yeah.
I would put my money on her before I put my money on anybody else as pro.
So
To be
okay.
honest with you.
So my thing with it is I think that it's trash. It's just a consistency. You know, like we just haven't had the consistency. Because I'm gonna tell you who I was on the women's side. I'm a big fan of English Gardner, and I hate that injury bug just keep biting them, man. But because of that, I mean, when you really got to take it back to Jet. You got to take it back to Jet as far as being consistent. And Allison,
Tiana, Muna. You know, I mean, there was a time where the women's 100 was comparable to the men's 100. You know what I'm saying? Like that was also the highlight of the meet. Now you sitting here looking at it like, okay, who's gonna win? Like the women's 100, I get it. It's all wide open. It's wide open, and that's probably the intrigue. But like as a world beater, like going in there and saying, hey, we're gonna be the medalists, and we know we're gonna be contending for a world or Olympic title, dog. Y'all realize that title was never leaving Jamaica until Shelly and Elaine retires.
Yeah. I'm about to say Shelly Ann. She taking it next year.
Right.
And you want to know my reasoning behind the fallout and lack of consistency and the plot twist of American women's 100-meter sprinting? Because we've all seen its demise. Social media.
Oh, now that's an interesting plot twist. I want to hear about this.
Okay, I think I know where you're going because I think you've heard me complain about it. I think I know where you're going with it. Go ahead.
So notice how everybody that has come out over the last social media has probably peaked more so over the last 3 to 4 years. Like I remember because I was at London in 2012, and I think I literally joined Instagram the summer of 2012. Like for real. But I didn't know how to really use it. I'd post a picture, then I wouldn't go back to it for a while. And so from 2016 on, there's so much about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, where I'm hanging out at. Ooh, I'm training hard and trying to be Instagram famous or models or putting on.
There it
so
is.
Those last, before 2012, there was still this reality of training in silence or training in the dark, or not letting everybody in on what you're doing just for the sake that you wanted to come and show up and be at your very best, when you get there. And so the old heads in the game now, the Allisons, the Justins of the world, and it's plagued maybe some of the younger upstart men as well, because if you think about it, the only young male that has been able to really break the rank of the older guard was Christian and Noah. And Michael Norman, who chose to go to school, because Michael Norman and Noah, that was 2012, they were both in high school.
Yeah.
So those were the special guys that were always the special guys. But everything else has been like, maybe even collectively, that has led to the demise of certain people, because the interconnectivity of what those platforms have done, I think has kind of like weighed them down, if that makes sense, because I've seen the rise of their social media presence and the decline of their performance.
Okay.
Tori Bowie bit the apple by somebody saying, "Oh, you're attractive. we can go put you in some model stuff. And then she forgot about the track and field piece.
Nah, that's not exactly what happened. There's other stories behind what happened, but I'm not at liberty to say.
No, but I understand that. But I'm talking about the reason I said because of the model stuff. There was a lot of other things, but the distractibility. That's the word I was looking for. The distraction of these platforms have led to the demise and lack of consistency with our younger upstart females, and even maybe some of our males, solely because they're dying to show this persona that only exists in this world of social media that ain't even real.
I get that, and just a devil's advocate point, because we've discussed this in previous things. Maybe because the lack of endorsements and opportunity that isn't available in our sport, we do know that social media does make those things be available. So, because I mean, I've seen some good ads from our hurdlers, you know, on the women's side, you know. So and we can all agree upon, male or female, track athletes have the best bodies in the world. You know, we've been world renowned for that, you know, and that sells, you know. But that's just me just throwing that point out there. But Stamps, because we haven't spent enough time on the women. Doesn't have to be a dream team, but the women have actually, they've been kind of hot, and they pushing some records. All right, what records are gonna fall, if any, are gonna fall next year, and who's gonna do it?
All right, Sydney McLaughlin is the first female to run under 52 seconds in the 400 hurdle. I think she does it before Delilah. I believe we now, if I'm not mistaken, and if Allison has the bullets, if I think we can challenge the American record in the women's 4x4. If there's never been a time when all four people on that 4x4 have run their best on that day. So whoever, now that we got, Wileen, the girl from South Carolina, she needs to be our lead off. Allison can run that second leg, and you got Phyllis, or even who's the last 49-second one? It was Okolo or yeah. If all them young ladies, oh my bad, Delilah, obviously you got Delilah and Sydney as well.
You tripping?
Sorry,
tripping.
I forgot about them too. But so I think 4x4, 400 hurdles. That's about it that I could see records going down.
Okay, so pause there. So I'll open it up globally. Lamont, does the women's open 400 get broken again?
Does the women's open 400 get broken? Well, Nasser is 21, 22 years old, and she ran 48-14. She is next to Jose Marie Perec. If I said her name right, Marie Jose Perec, excuse me. Shame on me. She is the closest thing to be a legitimate threat to a absolute dirty record. I think, once again, the setting that happened in Doha needs to happen again with Shani Miller-Uibo. Has to be on her head, and somebody else has to be with her through 250. And that girl, it got somebody to push her through 250. I believe that you're going to see the first sub 48 that we've seen in a very, very long time. Do I think the record be broken? If I had to pick who's going to break the record, I think Shani Miller can break the record. I think if the record was to go down, Shani Miller will have to have one of the most out-of-body experiences, and we've all had it. And when we had those crazy PRs, those were those out-of-body experiences to where we was like, we can't record the race. We had to wait till the day after to remember the race because it was so crazy. So it's not even the right element because the Olympic Games is the right time, the right element. What they're gonna need is everybody who's tops to be in that final and be on their A game.
Let me add something real quick, just on that. And we all saw the race. The mistake Shawnee made was she just underbid on El Nasser. She just underbid.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
She was running it down, but she didn't get out of the car because nobody, myself included, was like, this month gonna hold on.
Right.
And
me
so
too.
Now that she understands kind of what it's gonna have to take for her to be able to do that, I think you'll see a different race model. She got caught sleeping. Go ahead.
But as for the women's 4x4, that record ain't going nowhere. We tell you why that record's not going nowhere. I blame it on the training. And I'm sorry to have to say that, but I mean I blame it on today's training models. Understand something. When those records were set, those women back then was running 4 rounds of the open quarter. Was running 3 rounds of the 4x4. And they still ran 3:15. Now, you can say 88 was the crack epidemic, okay? Everyone was on crack, okay? I get it. But the same token, there was other athletes out there who also had monumental runs, and they performed at the highest level. So you had 4 rounds in comparison to 3, and a lot of these kids can't come back from that. Now, the one record that I hope to see go is the men's 4x4. But in order for that men's 4x4 record to go, understand something. Y'all may not agree with me, but y'all got to understand what I'm about to say. Rob Benjamin got to anchor that relay. Rob Benjamin has to anchor that relay. Michael Norman either has to run 3rd or he has to run 2nd. Okay? And they have to put the most consistent lead leg that I've seen over the last couple of years since Andrew Valman. They got to put Will, and Will's on his game, Will got to lead off. Or you put Fred on the lead off. Because Fred is just as consistent as Andrew Valman. So you put them on lead off, put them in the position where they got to go, and Michael Norman or Rob Benjamin has to be able to run 43 flat. Both of them have to be able to run 43 flat in order for them to achieve the ultimate goal. Do I think one of them can run 42.94 like Michael Johnson? No, because Michael Johnson did that with a 90-meter lead. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, but I would like to see that record go. All them other records, people talking about Christian Coleman can break the 100-meter record. Listen, that ain't happening. Okay, get that out your mind. Forget about it. The 200-meter record, that ain't going either. Get it out your mind. Okay, the 400-meter hurdle record is the one record that's really, really, really under fire.
So in Stamps, I want you to answer this one because they've been bouncing around it. What's up with the triple jump record?
Well, look, that's where I was gonna go. I also believe you got the baby from Venezuela on the women's side that is now finally figuring it out. Look, a lot of people don't know that she's a high jumper, and she is now starting to learn and understand that she'll be the first young lady to jump over 53 feet. I guarantee it.
Well, isn't the world record 50 feet 10?
Yes, she's gonna when she breaks it, she's gonna go.
Yeah,
she's gonna go way beyond it because if you're watching, she's now starting to figure out the things that she's supposed to be doing. And she's long, she's fast, she's aggressive, and she's got that dog in her. And then again, it's Will Christian Coleman's day. I actually think Will has the greater chance at it because he's more built like Jonathan Edwards than Christian is. And the reason I'm going to their body size or body type is because if there happens to be a tailwind and Will does the same jump that he did at Long Beach State with a 2 point or 1.9 meter tailwind, he goes. That's my take.
Speaking of field,
because for me that's the one. Yeah, because for me the triple jump is actually the one I see, men or women or men and women side. I think it's gone.
All right, well, let me pose this question to y'all. Do you see somebody jumping past 895? Because that one dude who almost jumped out of the pit last year, okay, that dude who looked like he flew. I forgot what country. I think Cuban or Spaniard or something like that.
Yeah,
That guy.
the Cuban kid, the Cuban kid.
So I'll say
Woo.
this. They jump anyone, even if it's not him. They jump
Mm.
past 895 if their competition is as historic as Tokyo back when Carl and Mike Powell jumped. Like the competition has to be there. It has to be.
Mm.
Like we haven't seen on that scale, at least I haven't seen on that scale, you know, two legitimate can be world record holders, but like jumping that world record mark back and forth, or like pushing it back and forth.
And I forgot Jerion when he got fourth. It was Worlds or the Olympics? That his hand
Olympics.
Olympics.
Yeah.
He was out there
By a centimeter.
Yeah.
Yep. It was by
Yeah.
a centimeter. He would have won it had he not put his hand back. He would have won the whole thing by going away. And he put his hand back and lost by and got fourth place by a centimeter.
I would have liked to know what. I think they need to add that everybody, like, you know, in golf they got like a mulligan or something. You should be able to get an asterisk marked jump in your or throw in your field event. Like, hey, just measure that just so we know what it was and subtract what you subtract, just so we can kind of push that. I think that'd be cool. You know, you're already there, man. It didn't take no time just to see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Hey,
So
but go ahead, Cal.
Go ahead, because I got another good question for y'all.
All right, so here's my question. The relay, the 4x1 relay on the world stage. Now, leg per leg, right now the U.S. is the deepest country in the world. And you know me, I'm Team Jamaica all day. I know that we're in a rebuilding stage. Asafa's on his last leg. He's done. Johan Blake is still holding on, but he's almost done. Nesta Carter, all those guys, they're done. So the young crop is still coming up. Most of their top guys are in high school. Let me ask you this. Outside of the United States, do you see
Man, that's what I was gonna ask, man.
Do you see a team that can beat the United States? I do. And every time I've said something, it came to fruition. I see a team that can beat the United States. And I know exactly who it's going to be, too. And I'm glad this recorded because I want it posted and documented. Great Britain is going to beat the United States.
That's not what I was gonna say. I think
my team.
I think it's Japan. Was it Japan? Yeah.
Ooh, Japan. Ooh. Sleeper. Because they home. They home.
Exactly.
They home.
And just crazy stuff happens when you at home, bro. Crazy stuff happens when you at home.
That was mine, Stamps. That was mine. And I got some inside, you know, people over there coaching and all that. But so I'll ask this question then. Outside of Team USA, Team Jamaica, and even Great Britain, who's gonna have a great Olympics? Overall, who does the world need to really? Let's just stick with track and field. Who does the world need to be on notice for the Olympics next year?
Okay, I'll tell you right now. The women's 200 is gonna be a
no country.
Country.
I'm gonna say South Africa on the men's side.
Boom. I was about to say that too. If Van Niekerk is back, South Africa is gonna be the team that everyone's gonna need to watch out for. South Africa, Japan, because they're the home country. And look, I love Mouse and Hakeem Sonny Brown is on that team, and then that Cambridge kid who was out last year, he's gonna be back. Remember, he was on the silver medal team in 2016, and he a baby. All of Japan's top runners are babies. They're young. They're like 21, 22 years old. They're all young.
Right.
Yeah. And so my honorable mention to that is China. I've seen China I've seen China take a global investment in track and field for these past 3 years, like they have not in years past. Like how they normally do with gymnastics and swimming and diving, they have taken a serious investment on their side. So that's my honorable mention.
The Jamaican women are going to rattle a lot of cages. You got Latoya Gould. You got Danielle, and I'm sorry I'm being biased because she's an alumni, even though I never coached her. She's an alumni of John C. Smith, so I'm be pulling for her. You got Elaine Thompson. You got Brianna Williams. You got Sharika Jackson. Remember, they ran 41:47 with a 400-meter run on the tail end of that relay last year. You know what I'm saying? That was without Brianna and Elaine Thompson. Now, everybody gives me crap about the fact that the Jamaica should have broke the relay record because I've been saying they could break the record. If all 4 of their top girls finally make it and everything is done the right way, that record's gone. That record's gone. So they're gonna have a field day in the 100. They're gonna have a field day in the 200. They're gonna have 2 bodies in the open quarter. Goal's gonna make the 800-meter finals. They're gonna put 2, maybe even 3 if they get lucky. They're gonna put 2 to 3 girls in the hurdles. Old girl who got second in the 400 hurdles a couple of years ago, she's back. And then the other young girl who's supposed to go to Texas, but when the coaching change happened, she decided not to go to Texas. I think she's training with Tanja Buford-Bailey right now. She's up and coming 400 hurdler. That's really good. She ran 55 something like age 18 over the 400 sticks. So you got that. Then you got the triple jumper from Florida State. Not old school chick. I don't want to call her old school, but she was at Florida State many years ago. But she still jumps. She's like 29, 30 now. And then you got some of their throwers. Remember, Jamaica's investing in their throw program now too, man. So the Jamaican women team, they're gonna come take some scalps now. They're gonna come take some scalps.
All right. Stamps. Back to Team USA. Who can you, like, we can't gamble on the sport, but if we were some gambling men in the sport of track and field, you get one bet, all right? Who would you put it all out there on to get us a medal? Men or women?
A medal or win?
A medal.
I got to go with little bro, Justin Gatlin. That's Mr. Game Time to get me a medal. But I'm gonna use, since that's a little unfair because that's home team, little bro. I was gonna say when we were like making our list, I totally believe the Roberts kid is gonna make the Olympic team and it's gonna continue to be their epic battle of what it is. But I actually wanted to switch, and I'm a Grant Holloway fan. Flower Power, the Flower Child, or the Flower Kid, or whatever his Flamingo, whatever it is.
It's Flamingo.
Yeah, Flamingo. Shit, I thought it was Flower Child or something. But that kid is on another level. I would actually take him as a 4x4 leg and his competitive spirit, then a 4x1 leg, and then I go Rye, or not in any particular order, but Benjamin, Norman, Grant, and Fred Curley would be what my team would be.
Okay. Lamont, who's your tried and true and dependable?
If I had to put it all on the line, and I had to pick one person that I know for a fact is gonna get me a medal, Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles. Like he's the most dominant 200-meter runner right now of this Olympic cycle.
Okay.
But you know, going back what Stam said, man, like, dog, if we're gonna go out, if we want to go out there and go see a show, the United States has to start opening their eyes and start putting some of that energy out there. Because you know, if you tell Grant he's running that 4x4, he gonna be ready. He gonna go out there. He gonna go out there. He ran 43.6 on anchor. Imagine putting him on the inside leg with his energy, his motto, and with mouse in his ear. Come on, man. You want that world record to be broken? You got to put the dogs out there. Like Stam said, the dogs got to be out there, man. You got to put them dogs, and the dogs don't just mean, okay, I can run fast this and third. Because we know a lot of guys who ran fast who ain't got that dog in them. We know a few of them.
All right. So shockingly, and I asked it for this reason. I asked that last question for this reason. If it were me, because she doesn't get the respect that she has earned, Nia Ali. Nia Ali is going to go get me a medal.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Because Raina in her corner as well, and this girl just happens to show up. Doesn't matter how many L's she took for the year. When that light is on, that girl shows up.
Yeah.
Every time. So
exactly.
So that right there, if you went to Vegas and put money on that joint, you're gonna probably come out with some change, bro.
I'ma eat.
Yeah,
If
you
I
won't eat
could.
for real. You
If
won't
I
eat for
could.
real. Now I'm being biased. I kind of want to see Danielle win it. I'm just being biased. But you know what? But here's the deal. We can say Nia Ali. Nia Ali got to make it out the trials because you know the women's 100-meter hurdle is the hardest event in the United States.
She gonna get out. She gonna get out because while and of course that's our strongest event on the women's side. I mean,
hands down.
but while we're running 12-2, 12-3 throughout it, she gonna do what she need to do. Put in lane 8, put in lane 1. Man, Nia gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Didn't she run at Tennessee for a little bit?
Yeah. Tennessee had an all-star. Carol Smith Gilbert had an all-star cast.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You said Nia Ali was where?
She was at Tennessee. I
didn't know that.
Before Carol went to UCF. Oh, she had a squad.
Yo, I didn't know that.
Before Jenna Batarmo went to Texas A&M, she was at Tennessee.
She was at Tennessee.
Nia Ali was there at the same time. So was Lynn Lane. They went to UCF.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man,
I thought so.
Carol had a squad on the other side of the track, man. She had a squad.
Hey, listen.
So I got one. And I was hoping
I'm speechless.
hold on. And it just sucked that it didn't line up because he had his surgery. Mutaz is gonna get the high jump world record.
Okay.
I forgot about
man from Qatar?
Mutaz, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I could watch him jump all day, dog.
Man, me too, man. It's butter. It's poetry in motion.
246, 245 the record. 246. 246 is 8 feet and a little bit of change.
Yep.
With another year of training, he gets that because he had a shortened season because he had tore some ligaments in his ankle, and that's why he had a shortened season leading into the World Champs, and he was able to get that dub on his home soil.
But hey, you know the one event I do want to see, and I want everybody in there: Nigel Amos, Donovan Brazier versus Rhodesia in the 800.
The 800, yep.
We deserve it. We deserve that, man. We deserve that. If Rhodesia's anywhere near 2011, 2012 shape.
Guys, I was very fortunate and blessed to watch that race live, and it was amazing. I can't even do it justice by reminiscing about it, but I was walking around the stadium from where my seat was. There's a certain place that had this whatever it was I wanted to eat. So I was like, oh, I got about 20 minutes to go and make this happen. And then I get to the spot and I wait in line, and then I'm like 3 or 4 people up, and you got the TV in the little bar area. Oh, the race is on the track. I said, there's no damn way. I done waited for 20 some odd minutes, and I'm about 3 people from being up in line. I said, I'm not gonna sit here and watch this on TV while I'm in Olympic Stadium. So I left and just went out to the to where I, the track level or whatever, not track level, but to where I could see the race live. That dude came through at 48.9, bro.
Wow. Yeah. I'm ready for it, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what that new stadium, Nike Town USA, is gonna produce.
Yes,
because now you ain't got to worry about the wind factor. You don't have to worry about all kinds of stuff. Now you actually in a facility that looks like a stadium that's in the Diamond League. So now they get that feel. Now all they got to do is be able to fill that up, and that's gonna be my only concern outside of Prefontaine, of course, because Prefontaine they're gonna fill the place out. Let's be real, they're gonna fill it out. But everything else and Olympic trials, they'll definitely fill it out for the trials. But they can get that feel, and you get that energy, you get that loudness, like that Saturday in Penn relays when that gun go off and that crowd just goes wild. If you can get that, man, you want to see some great things happening, man.
I agree. So I want to ask one more question that I think will make a good debate, and then I got to get out of here.
Okay.
So when we look at other sports, so let's take basketball. You can have all the MVPs, but of course, if you don't win that championship, you know what I'm saying, your legacy really isn't solidified or respected how it could be, in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually let's look at a Christian Coleman. All right. Well, he's not in his prime yet, but he's definitely on the rise, man. He's bubbling. Should he win the world's fastest man title at the Olympic Games? Will it be next year or 4 years later? For any sprinter, but I'm just using him because he's the most recent guy. But for any sprinter, not winning either their 4x1 or 4x4 relay, like if you're an open quarter mile or an open 100-meter runner, do you need that win to solidify yourself, like solidify your legacy? Do you need that relay title in addition to that open title?
No,
in our
because Gatlin won his very first relay title in 2019, and he's been on the scene since 03.
They won in 04.
No, they didn't. They lost. Great Britain beat them.
Oh, shit. That's right.
They lost in 04. You know, 2-6 and Marty Scales dropped the stick in Helsinki. Okay. He wasn't on the relay. He wasn't on the relay in 07. You know, that was the last real international win was 07. They dropped the stick from Doc to Tyson. I don't know why Tyson was even on anchor. That made no sense whatsoever. They lost in 08, lost in 2009, 11, 12, and you know the rest of it. Then the age of Ultron, known as Usain Bolt, came in and just.
Right. That's a great question, man, because I was about to say hands down, yes, because Carl anchored the team. And then I retracted saying yes, because for us to be as good as we're going to need to be, Christian has to lead off. His strength is in the start, not in the end. I don't know. I don't think your legacy is continuing.
Nah, man, go call up Trail. We just need Trail for 2 rounds. We need Trail Kimmons for 2 rounds.
Listen, we seen Christian run 3 legs. He ran anchor, he ran second in the prelims in Rio, and he ran first. It's clear as day.
Oh,
he has to run. He has to pop off. Like there's 2 legs. There's 2 legs that's already solidified unless they hurt. Anchor, no allows is running anchor for the foreseeable future. Christian Coleman is leading off. If you're smart, you leave him there. Forget all that. Well, I'm the Olympic champion. I need to be anchored. No. We gotta do what's the best for the team. Okay, run them first, and then run Ronnie Baker third. Hell, throw me or Stamps on second, and we got it going, baby.
I'll take that medal. But Stamps, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, so I was just saying, like, I think your legacy is contingent on the medals you have in the individual capacity. That you have the relays is icing on the cake, cause we vilify Asafa Powell because he couldn't win the big race because he was always on relays that was winning.
True. Correction. Charles vilifies him.
I listen, vilify or discredit. He ain't, as much as he's great, and I've appreciated his competitiveness. He's like, because he could never. He'd run fast. What would happen every single year, bro? It'd get to the last Diamond League final, and then he'd run close to the world record when it didn't matter for nothing. Like clockwork. He could never make it happen when it counts, and I judge your ability and your legacy to me. I wouldn't. None of us said Asafa Powell for guaranteeing me a medal. Even in his prime, we wouldn't have said that.
Right, because we know he'll give you as many 9-second runs you need, but he hasn't pulled off what we needed him to pull off for that type of consistency.
The only legacy he has is I think he's the guy that's run under 10 seconds more than anybody in the world.
98 times. 98 times. He ran 98 sub 100s, and to me, he's going to go down as one of the greatest. He's going to go down as one of the greatest 100-meter performers of all time. Like, if not the greatest 100-meter performer. Listen to the words I'm using. He is going down as the greatest 100-meter performer of all times. Dude, him and Bolt are the only ones. Him, Bolt, and I believe Carl Lewis are the only 3 people who've held that record multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Most of the greats only held the record once, and then it got broken. They never been able to achieve it again. He was able to hold the record 2 to 3 times. So he's gonna go down as one of the greatest 100-meter performers of all time, without doubt. He has to go down as the greatest 100-meter performer of all time.
So,
Yeah.
but to your point, Stamps, like of vilifying Asafa for not getting an individual title, devil's advocate, we do the same thing when we don't bring home that 4x1 title back to the States.
Oh yeah, because we definitely do, because we like to think that, you know, America's great and grand, and we when we went through that dry spell of not being able to finish a relay, you know, all hope was lost. Let's put that back out there. And then we get disqualified in 2012 for passing before the zone. 2012.
Nah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Say it again.
When was the one that the first Justin got the baton early?
Oh man, which one? There was multiple.
Well, the one that they got DQ'd for.
There was 2015, 17, I believe it was 2017.
Most recent one, yes, I guess.
Yeah, it was 2017.
So yeah, so I think the vilification that comes out of us and our lackluster 4x1 performance is more so the expectation, obviously, of the medal count, and if we got guys that are winning 100 and winning the 200, why we can't put a relay out there? But like you said, in the age of Megatron, you know, just think about how much Bolt elevated sprinting in Jamaica, especially their model is different because you only basically had 2 factions of coaches. Like Asafa, was he MVP? Or
Yeah, he was with his MVPs, Coach Francis.
So was Asafa, Usain, and Johan all MVP?
No, Asafa was MVP. Nestor Carter was MVP. Bolt and Michael Frater was MVP. Bolt and Johan was racers.
And Warren Ware?
And Warren Ware was racers.
So the fact that there was 2 places you went in Jamaica that had these you know, great groups, I think it hurts us globally as a Olympic movement or world championship movement that I would think, if I'm not mistaken, everybody has a different coach that's on the 4x1 right now.
Yeah, so yeah, if we had to go with the 4 best guys that we know, so Tim Hall and Christian, Dennis Mitchell and Gatlin, coach down at TCU with Ronnie Baker, and Lance Brahman down and with Noah Lyles. You know, the problem is this. It's just bad preparation. And we all know this. And I know we have to cut it short here soon. But bottom line is this. If we know Gatlin, his seasonal best is 986, and Christian Coleman just ran 976, why are you using 25 steps?
Man, I don't even want to tackle that right now. Look.
We can, you know what? We can address that. We can address that next week.
Yeah,
we can address that next week.
Because you know what? I want to. This was fun. You know what I'm saying? This was definitely a lot of fun. So we got to keep talking track. And so how about, you know what? Next week, let's talk that. Let's talk. Let's address. Let's question why those things happen.
I want to say something, but I feel like Lamont's gonna judge me. But I think it'll be a good laugh on the way out.
No, right. I mean, straight up and down. I mean, listen, the relay. Listen, somebody said it, and I agree with them. The men's relay coach, who should be getting paid top dollar, should be Vince Anderson. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say
Norbert Elliott. And Lamont Johnson. I'm sick. Look, I'm telling you.
You see my work, Kyle.
Because look, Kyle and I, what a lot of people don't know is Kyle and I share the same 4x1 record at Tennessee. It's 38.66. But theirs is more impressive because they didn't have one guy over 5'10". Or maybe Ruben was 6 foot.
Nah, Ruben was 5'9", 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, there you go. But here's the thing that I was gonna say that Lamont, you was gonna judge me on. Me and Justin was 34 and a half.
Yeah, but that's smart. But it goes to my point. It goes to my point.
Me and
No,
Evander
but
was 31.
seriously, it goes to my point that Vince Anderson should be the relay coach and he should be getting paid top dollar every time the school year's over. Everybody respects Vince. If Vince calls, everybody will come. If Mouse calls, everybody will come. But Vince in particularly, if he calls, everyone's going to show up. They're not going to be like, yo, we got to do this, we got to do that. No, they're going to show up to camp. They're going to get this work done. They're going to respect his intelligence and his acumen, and they're going to do everything that he asks them to do. Vince has to be the relay coach for the United States. Or,
so
let me tell you something.
Lamont, say that. Lamont, say that. So next
Okay.
week, this what I want y'all to come with next week. Come with your relay coaches and your wives and some other things. We're gonna discuss it. Cause I'm gonna go to war for you, Lamont, because I've seen it firsthand. I'm gonna go to war for Norbert Elliott. So back to Stamps though. At Tennessee, we ran more 38s than that Gatlin team. Now, of course, Gatlin left school early, but we got a whole lot of man. Like six or seven.
Yeah, definitely. I know we ran 5.
Yeah, we and again, but it's the way Coach Elliott was able to put that thing together. I mean, we didn't have the national champions that y'all had. You know, we had the talent. Like Evander was 10.08, Ruben was like 10.03. He ran like a win-aided 9.8. So we did have that, but I mean, we run 38 with a guy that was, Ruben wasn't on that team, but we put it together. Like, so, yeah. So Coach Elliott, he's put together, I mean, and we took down at LSU with a Trendon Holiday and Richard Thompson. You know.
Wait, what year was that?
It's 2008, 2007.
2007, yup.
Which way y'all running?
Pritchett was first leg, Evander was second leg, I was third, Ruben was fourth. But on top of that, you had Willie Perry. That was at the top of his game at Florida. So we beat that. We beat a Willie Perry team, a Richard Thompson, Trendon Holiday team. I forgot who was at Alabama that year. But they had he was a little shorter. He would wear a mohawk with the shades.
Yeah, he won SECs that year in the 100. It was at Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah. All right, so guys, look, next week we already know what's coming. This was fun. Yeah. Again, our condolences go out to Mr. Floyd and his family, man. We're gonna do our part with what we can with the people that we're connected to. We're gonna keep having fun talking track as well. But this has been Track Chat with the most known unknowns. Hassan Stamps, Lamont Johnson, and I'm Coach Kyle Stevenson, man. Y'all have a good evening. Stay safe.